Hi Sagittarius, this is Tarot-blee Accurate. Thanks for tuning in. If you're new, welcome. I hope you come back. If you're returning, thanks for returning. I appreciate all your likes, shares, and subscribes. It's really awesome. If you are interested in having a one-card tarot teeny tiny little daily card reading for everyone, those are on Facebook now. So if you just like the page, it should show up in your monthly, what am I talking about? This is your monthly reading, but it should show up in your Facebook feed every morning. So this is the monthly reading for Sagittarians, and this is your sun, moon, or rising sign, and this is for April 12th through May 12th. So as usual, we will break this down into different areas: career, money, health, home, love for singles, love for couples, and then kind of a week-by-week breakdown. So it's a long video, but packed with information. So we'll just go ahead and get started. So what is it that Sagittarians need to know? I'll tell you one thing you need to know. If you watch this right when it comes out, you might want to watch it again like halfway through the month or again towards the end, because things that don't resonate initially might not have happened yet. So things might become more clear later on. And that's for everyone's videos, not just mine. When it's a whole month long, that's a lot of time. Tons of things can happen in a month. Okay, Sagittarians, what's going on for you in regards to career, the world in reverse? And so April 12th through May 12th, things might not be going exactly the way that you want them to. Total upset. Things are a little bit out of control in the workplace. And maybe it's not all that dramatic, but maybe it's like an internal struggle where you're like, I don't really like things right now. I don't really know what to expect, and that kind of sucks. But then all of these just jumped right out of the deck. So we'll go through them one by one. You need to take some rest. You might be working too hard. So there's that. You might need to take risks at work. You might need to go, you know what? This is what makes me happy. This is what I'm going to do. So maybe taking a rest, going on a vacation, maybe taking a rest, looking for a new job, and you're kind of scared about it, but you're like, you know what? I need something that brings me more joy. I need something that brings me more excitement, that's more aligned with like my spirit. And then the Page of Swords in reverse. The caution here is like to be honest with yourself though about the reality of that. Like, it's good to be optimistic, right? But it's not a good thing to be really optimistic about something that is like not achievable or attainable in reality. So like if you're like, you know what, I'm going to quit my job. I love the circus. I'm going to go be in the circus. And then like that means I have to move around a lot and I don't really like to travel. You know, something silly like that. Just be real with yourself. In regards to money for Sagittarians, world in reverse again. That's real interesting. So probably this is tied to your career. You might not be liking the way that things are going financially right now. Something kind of just sets you off a little bit, throws you for a loop. These cards are getting really jumpy, so there's definitely more to be said about that. Queen of Swords in reverse, and Five of Wands in reverse, and Queen of Wands in reverse. So, April 12th through May 12th. In regards to that situation, maybe you are not really, how do I phrase this? Okay, this could go a couple of different ways. Someone is very good at hiding things from you. They're very good at lying to you, and you're not really good at catching them. Someone could be a little bit sneaky, but then conversely, you could kind of like know what's going on in regards to money, but just be like very unwilling to like communicate with that. And not only because she's in reverse and like extending out her hand, we also have the Five of Wands here, which is like not working together as a team, not communicating, not listening to each other, not seeing each other's ideas, not being on the same page like at all. So I feel like for some of you, this could be in regards to work, but it might also be in regards to your home life, like not getting on the same page about where to budget, how to budget, who splits what bill, if it's a roommate, things like that. The Queen of Wands in reverse is like not really having like a willingness or an ability to sort of do the things that you like, that make you happy, that bring you joy. So if you're having financial issues or troubles, you might have to give up some of your hobbies, some of the things that you really like to do. Now, but some of you, it's not even about money. It's more about like you're not able to do that because you're not able to work as a team. You're not able to communicate effectively. You're not able to listen to other people. So kind of some challenges in the realm of things that are money related. However, it doesn't appear to me that you're going to have money troubles necessarily, just because there's no pentacle cards here, especially no pentacle cards in reverse. So it's more about like having a difficulty with things and communication and people and teamwork in relation to money. Okay, so moving on then to your health. What's going on? Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, April 12th through May 12th. The Queen of Swords in reverse again. So maybe not having like clear thinking and good communication and honesty in relationships with other people, or not being honest is like kind of stressing you out. So emotionally that could affect your health. And then also, not really being able to kind of go out and do the things again that I mentioned you wanted to do. So it kind of ties into the money aspect. Like that's kind of like bumming you out big time. Like you want to go out, you want to go, it's like some of you specifically want to take a cruise and you're not able to right now for whatever reason, and that really bugs you. But others of you, it's like you don't want to have to wait for things to be fun and exciting. You just want to go do them, and you kind of can't right now. And it's like you need a break, You need a break from your work, and you can't have one right now. And so, like, it's taking its toll. In regards to your home life, what's going on for Sagittarians? The Hanged Man. So maybe some indecision, but also seeing things from a new perspective. At this point, you're able to see things in a different way, but you're not quite yet able to create stability and harmony. But, like, you're working on it because you are seeing things in a new light. You're seeing things from a new angle. What else is going on in the home life? You may, after that energy kind of passes and you see things from a new perspective, say, okay, you know what? I'm making a decision. I'm making some changes. I'm telling people some things and they might not like it. But ultimately, I think this is for the greater good. And it might hurt people in the short term, but in the long term, it's better for everybody. But I would also caution you that like the way that you communicate is going to affect a lot of the outcome of the situation, because it just will. Communicate as clear as possible, but be honest as well. Okay. Moving on to single Sagittarian love for April 12th through May 12th. What is in store for single Sagittarius, folks? Okay, so we've got the Two of Wands and the Queen of Swords upright. This is interesting because we had these cards before in opposite order and in reverse, but now they're popping up again. So these are important messages for you. We have the Hierophant and the Hanged Man again, but this one wants to come out as well. A lot of the same cards. So interesting. Okay, single Sagittarians. So you're starting to kind of like broaden your horizons. Like if you're always looking for a match for a partner in the same type of places, you're starting to go, you know what? Like maybe that's not the best place to meet somebody. If you've always been trying to date online, you're like, that's not working out because I don't know if I connect with this person until I meet them. If you are always meeting people, like if you're a dude, you're always meeting girls at the same bar and they're always like the same kind of girl, go somewhere else. You're starting to think about that, okay? But you have a little bit of trouble maybe in that you have because you've been, like you've lived your life, and this is not to say that you're old or anything like that, but, excuse me, some of you are like old and experienced. Like you've had like a lot of life experience, you've learned a lot of lessons, and it's not to say that you're hardened, but some of you are. Some of you might not be very trusting, and it's really difficult for you to extend your hand out to somebody and trust them. But when you do, you mean it, but like you don't like put full trust in them because like you always have suspicion and a little bit of like you hate being lied to, really. You really, really hate it. You have like zero tolerance for that. Like you're going to accept no BS. And so I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing for you. Especially, when you're starting relationships, you don't want them to start dishonestly because then it's going to be a total S show for the rest of the relationship if it goes anywhere. So the next card that you have here is a Hierophant. So some of you might be meeting people in places that they traditionally meet them instead of broadening their horizons. And but it's the same kind of person, which is why you're suspicious, which leads you then to the Hanged Man card where it's like, okay, is this even something I want to pursue? If so, can I frame this differently? Like, can I see it in a different light? You see that little orb there? That's kind of cool. Or not. It's still kind of floating around, but it's like out of the screen. Anyway, so this is important, but now I'm kind of losing my train of thought. I'm sorry. So you're seeing things in a different way, and then you're like, is that the way I want to proceed or not? For others of you, this could be like meeting people in like very like traditional places, like places that have been around for a long time. So historic sites, it could be like churches, anything like that. And again, I think, really being honest with people, like, so if you meet someone someplace like this or someplace like this where you have maybe not had the best experiences in the past, and so, you're not very trusting, but you're willing to give them an opportunity. You're trying to see things from a new perspective. Like, if you're honest with that about your struggle, some people might say, okay, well, like, that kind of sucks. Or, like, if you're like, you know what, to be honest, like, I'm just not clicking with you. I don't really like you that much. But let's be friends. That might hurt them a little bit, but it's actually better for you and it's better for them because they can move on and seek out new opportunities. And you can be like, okay, well, I know what I want at least, and why would I waste my time with somebody I don't want? For some of you, this is going to be maybe not for all of you, definitely not for all of you, but for a very small percentage of you, it's coming through that love triangles might be found out and ended, but instead of like being sad, it's more like, ha, I caught you. So there's that. What else? Page of Cups in reverse and King of Swords in reverse. Okay, so last little thing here for single Gemini Sun, not Gemini. You might be dealing with a Gemini, actually, just saying. But Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. So somebody's dealing with a Gemini, and this is where that's going to hit. You are right on with your emotions. You might feel like you're crazy. They might be telling you that you're crazy, but your intuition is spot on. And unfortunately, you're being lied to, okay? You don't know the whole truth. And maybe you're not being lied to. I feel like it's more like omission. Like they're just keeping things out of the story. But you really don't have to be seeking the truth because you already know. Like your gut is telling you, so who gives an F, right? Just, who gives an F for some Gemini that you're dealing with. And I feel like it might be like a Gemini-Cancer combination. The Page of Cups often represents a Cancer for me. So it could be like a Cancer person with a Gemini rising or moon, or vice versa, okay? So if you are considering getting married to this person, you might want to really talk about that with friends. You might want to get their opinion on it and find out what they think about this person. And I know that I said this is for singles, but that's just what's coming out here. Or, oh my gosh, that person could be married. The Gemini Cancer person could be married, or maybe you're married and they're about to find you out. And to be honest, you cannot justify that or defend that at all. Gosh, the cards are funny sometimes. It's not funny. Your situation isn't funny. But it's just really funny the way that came out, and it's like, you can't even. Okay. Sorry. Sagittarius couples, what's going on for you? So let me just go back for a second, though, and say, Sagittarius, like, if there is a person in your midst and you're like, something's not right, they very well could be married, or they're going to find out that you are if you're watching this as a single. Okay, so couples. Strength in reverse. What else do we have for couples, Sagittarians, April 12th through May 12th? The Hierophant in reverse. The Knight of Swords. And the Four of Wands. Very cool. So you might not be feeling like super in control. You might not be feeling particularly like at your best right now. You might be lacking, patience and strength. For males specifically, you might not be particularly fertile right now. You may be a little bit impotent right now, and I'm sorry about that, but that's just the reality. So anyway, that would be because you are not doing things the way that you used to do them. So go back to whatever it was that worked for you in the past, because that's a good thing. But you have to be honest with yourself about that. Maybe it's a new medication you started or something like that, and it's affecting your libido for some of you. And I know this is very male focused right now. So if you're female, hold on, we'll get there. But you just have to really come clean about it and just realize that it's okay. It is what it is. Do you guys see that too? Lots of ish in your video today. Anyway, because that's going to bring you stability. So if you're a male having a hard time conceiving, having a hard time with your boy parts, communicate about it. Seek help. Find a doctor. Do what you have to do, because it's going to create a lot more stability and happiness and joy in your love life. Okay, but then for females, let's interpret this that way. Excuse me, my knee's going to pop and it really hurts. Okay, oof. Females, you might be a little bit emotionally kind of, how do I describe this? It's like you have these emotions and you're wondering whether or not they are, if you're overthinking it and you're trying to push them to the side, but deep inside, you're kind of this probably has to be dealt with. And some of that is that things are not going exactly the way that you pictured them to go, or the way that you wanted them to go, the way that you envisioned them when you got into this relationship in the first place. But by communicating that, by saying, hey, this is how I feel, this is what I wanted, this is what I thought, then you're able to get what you want. If you don't ask, you don't receive, right? So you need to be honest, you need to be clear, you need to communicate, and then things should be a lot more stable and happy for you, and just a lot more spring-like, a lot more joy. So for all Sagittarians now, moving into the week-by-week breakdown, what do we have going on for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising people for, let me look at my calendar, April 12th through the 19th. So we are going to do a positive energy, a challenge, and then your advice for that week. Positive energy. Ace of Wands. New beginnings, exciting opportunities, things that are creative and exciting that have a lot of potential for growth. That's really good. The challenge is not being like too like holding on too tightly to things that are like stable, because like if you do that, then you can't like really throw yourself into something that is new and creative and exciting. Like if you're holding on really, really hard, not to things of the past, but things that are now. So like you might be, it might be difficult for you to like invest. And this could be like emotional investment. This could be like financial investment, but like you might be having a hard time investing really in this new thing. So your advice on that is that everything's going to be awesome. Okay, so you're going from 1 wand of growth and like exciting opportunity to 6. This is the victory card. Everything's going to work out in your favor, okay? So don't be afraid. Don't be. So April 20th through the 29th, what do we have for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising people? Whoa! Magician in reverse. Let's get a clarifier on that as to why it's reverse. Okay, the Hermit in reverse. And then we'll get your challenge card, which is the Sun. And then your advice. 2 cups in reverse. Okay, so this is an interesting one. So the good news is that anything can happen. Like you can create your own reality, right? Anything that you want, you can achieve it. But unfortunately, this is probably not the week that you're going to achieve it. And the reason being is because you're not really clear on what it is that you want. You're not going inside and you're not really thinking about what it is that brings you joy, happiness, stability, excitement. You know, you're not really thinking about those things. You're not like being real, like you're not taking the time to really be like self-focused. And so your challenge is to really think about what it is that brings you happiness, joy, stability, all of those things. Like really be honest with yourself and think about that. Your advice is not to talk to other people about it, to go within yourself, okay? Not about, like, okay, also, when I'm talking about, you can create whatever it is that you want. You can create whatever situation that you want, things like that. I don't want you to be focused on a specific person. Like, I want to be with this person. I think that they're my soulmate. I want, you know, this, that. Because they might not be the person that you want, really, when you get to know them, when you spend time with them, when they start sleeping at your house all the time and they never brush their teeth, okay? So, anyway, that's that. But really go inside and think about what makes you happy, brings you joy and sunshine and radiance, before you can even start thinking about like attracting and drawing that other person in, because that will come, but not yet, not until you get real with you. Okay, so, and some of you are spending way too much time like trying to make other people happy. You need to work on making yourself happy first, okay? So, I forget what week that was. Was that the 20th through the 26th? We're going to do 20th through the 26th again, if it was, just because bonus information. Okay. These guys jumped right onto the floor. And so you're maybe not spending as much time working on like hobbies, little projects at home, things like that. But you are spending a good amount of time emoting, you know, like receiving blessings from the universe, you know, being like emotionally attached and fulfilled. Like emotionally, you're cool anyway. So what is your challenge though? And like I said, April 20th through the 26th. Your challenge is to, okay, with all of this emotional stuff, to also think logically and to be clear, okay? To have like good, clear communications with others, with yourself, with those around you, because that's going to bring you tremendous stability and it's also going to help you out with work. This could be like the card of like a financial windfall, of financial security, stability. This card is a card about like having your ish in order. So like emotionally, things are good. Your challenge is to be like better about like intellectually, like cognitively being like, you know, excited and happy. But ultimately, like working towards your stability is going to be a really good thing for you. And then the 27th of April through May 3rd, what do we have going on for Sagittarians? Knight of Wands. My card just got a little wonky there. Okay, Knight of Wands with the Seven of Cups as a challenge. And then your advice is the Two of Cups again in reverse and the Star in reverse. So, Knight of Wands going like, hey, I'm going out, I'm doing these fun things, I'm having a good time, like maybe buying new clothes, kind of going a little bit wild for a while. Your challenge, though, is not to be all over the board, okay? Like, it is totally okay to do things like that, to, like, be spontaneous, go have fun, but not, like, in so many different areas. Like, pick one thing, do it, have your fun, because your advice is, like, it's going to potentially kind of upset things in your life if you're all over the place, okay? Now, I don't usually look at the clock when I am doing these readings, but I'm looking at the clock right now. It's 11:11 on Tuesday, April 12th. And so both 11s and 12s are about being positive and kind of like manifesting what it is that you want. And so, you know, as I pulled this card in the same regard that I did previously, you know, don't be focusing on a specific person or anything like that, because they're probably not what you really, really want anyway. You think that they are now, but they're not. And then the other advice is that maybe right now is not the time for that person to be in your life anyway, okay? And this maybe not even be like romantically. This might be like, oh, I want to like start a business with somebody. Like I need a business partner or a best friend or things like that. Like it could be a friendship too, and you're like, gosh, I really want to be better friends with this person, and then you're like, it probably would be kind of a shitty friendship. Oh, excuse my language. But kind of like maybe the relationship would not be give and take as it should be. Maybe you give more or they give more, and one of you's take, and it's not really cool, and Okay. So then your final week, May 4th through May 12th, what do we have going on for Sagittarian Sun, Moon, and Rising people? So your positive energy, Temperance. You're pretty grounded. You know the difference between fantasy and reality. Everything is sort of balanced this week. That's really, really good. Like your emotions are in check. Your thoughts are in check. Like everything is in check. Like it's not necessarily like a super happy week, but it's a comfortable week. All right. It's like a macaroni and cheese week. You know, it's comfortable, but it's not gourmet. Your challenge is just to remember that anything can happen. Okay, this might be a really strong week for you, like a really important week, even though it doesn't seem like that as I'm pulling these cards out. But because they're both major arcana cards so far, it'd be interesting now to see what your advice card is. And it just told me what it was, jumped right out of the deck. It is the Ten of Cups. So really important, awesome, fantastic week for you. You started out like real comfortable. Everything is like in control. Your luck changes for the better, and you become pretty happy. Really, really good card. But I do want to warn you, though, and I'm not saying that anything ominous is going to happen. Like, hopefully these, because it's a major arcana card, these energies will probably last for a long time. However, I do want to say that tens are the end of a cycle before ones start again. So I'm reminding you to really enjoy this week. All of the blessings and benefits that come this week, really, really enjoy and celebrate those. Okay, Sagittarians, if you need more clarity or you would like a personal or private reading, my information is all in the description box below. But otherwise, until next time, bye. Mwah. Love and light.